All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. Today we'll be looking at CGC, SOUNDHOUND, and GNS. All right, definitely some news going around on the weed sector, right? Obviously, I would have been talking about that last week if I wasn't on vacation, but to me, in all honesty, I see more of a beautiful technical movement than I see importance in the news. All right, and I'll talk about that more specifically after, right? But I'm way less happy about this like potential federalization law change and more happy that we've broken the 50 and are working our way to the 100. All right, so that's basically what I meant there. Soundhound's a little perplexed to me. It's a perplexing. I don't know what the word is. It looks odd. All right, Nasdaq's done really well. All right, Nasdaq's I think in the 14K range if I'm not mistaken. Right, yet Soundhound didn't make its way up to 3. That puzzles me a little bit. I'm not even going to pretend that. All right, so that's kind of the big thing I'll be talking about on that one. And then GNS was discussed a good amount today on our Discord team, and I still think it needs to do a little more. All right, we'll talk about that one shortly, but get over a couple more lines and I think I'd be a little more excited. But yeah, today I think was at least an important day for GNS. All right, so before we go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do today? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to the channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do helps me out so much. I've also been gone for a week, so the algorithms are like extra angry at me right now, but I would appreciate anything you can do, and then I will put a link to the Discord group in the YouTube comments, all right? So look, CGC, obviously a lot of the focus is on the news that happened last week, all right? And I would have said this exact same thing if I wasn't on vacation then that I'm saying now. I care less about the news and more what these colorful lines think about the news, all right? To me, the federalization, so the way I saw the news, and hey, if I'm wrong, obviously throw it in the comments, right? But the news I basically saw said, hey, they want to change the ranking of weed in the federalization category, you know, for lack of words. We have like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, blah, 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 right? So they want to lower it. They want to make it deprioritized, defederalized. Those are kind of like the buzzwords I saw, right? To me, that does not make canopy growth more money. That does not make TLRY more money. None of that brings more money into any of the weed stocks that we're choosing to buy, right? So the federalization rule actually, in my opinion, doesn't really do much for these companies, you know, revenue-wise, right? And end of the day, revenue laws are what really matter to me. Letting me move stuff between states is better than within states only, right? Changing taxation laws has consequences for the books, right? Like federal revenue rules matter more than federal law, because again, it's not like we're adding extra states by doing this, right? Like other states are still going to need to do their voting and this and that, right? So just kind of keep that in the back pocket. That said, listen, break the 8, go to the 20, break the 20, go to the 50, break the 50 and go to the 100. That's what we've done. All right, we came close to the 50, couldn't do it. Came close to the 50, couldn't do it. Came close to the 50, couldn't do it. We finally broke it. You know what I mean? And really more than anything, it was actually, I think, more about breaking the 20. We tried to break, and I mean, that was good confirmation. This is the one that should have done it. And obviously there was some like BS news, and I remember I made videos on that, right? But like, it really was more about this 20 moving average that couldn't break there, couldn't break there, couldn't break there. Should have gone... couldn't break here, couldn't break here, couldn't break here, couldn't break here, finally does and goes, right? So I think a lot of this was more technical. That said, I do believe the news brought the needed volume, right? So those are kind of my mixed bag thoughts on the actual news affecting the stock. And really, like I said, what I care more about, break the 50, go to the 100, all right? So a couple really important things to call out. And I'm actually going to start with the RSI. RSI is pretty high. All right, 78 is pretty much 80 in my book, right? So it's really, really hard to believe that immediately we're gonna break the 100. That said, even if we don't go any higher, we did a good job. All right, we actually were able to get close enough in my book to like make a threat at the 100. First real one since February. All right, February, you can see it was literally the last time we were anywhere near that blue line, right? So it takes time to break the lines. It does, right? So I'm okay with what we did. What I would love, what I would just love to have is this get over the line tomorrow. Let's call it around 77 cents, which is still a beautiful, beautiful percent still, right? But get me over the blue line. Then when it comes down, bounce on the blue line. That would be beautiful. Take the 100 now would be great. Otherwise, look, I can't imagine this goes any lower than 62 to 59. All right. Obviously, I drew this line well before these candles came. 50% candles up here, right? And I think 50% candle of this is close enough to this 59. So I would say, like I said, anywhere from 62 to 50. That should be really, really hard to lose. I think right now the goal is let's break this 100 and go. All right. Look, I'm not talking about TLRY on this video, but let me at least flash it. TLRY is finally over the 200. TLRY had some beautiful golden crosses, beautiful golden crosses. TLRY, I've said it before, I think TLRY is the one that matters the most on the charts. I just believe CGC had the best spacing of moving averages. That's why it's getting this fat run. You know what I mean? But I actually believe a little bit more is because of TLRY. I think a lot of it is because of the spacing. Break the 50, go to the 100, right? I'm not really ready to talk about break the 100, go to the 200, okay? Red, 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 green, 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 like, you know, like red, 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 like, you know, I say all those stuff and I mean all those stuff, right? But I think it's a little too ambitious to have a $1.60 dream, let alone a $1.20 dream, let alone a dollar dream, right? Like, I think right now the main question is what's going to happen with this 100 moving average. Are we going to break 75? Are we going to hold 75? Are we going to hit it and fail super hard, right? There's a bunch of things that can happen. I think that's the real question. What is going to happen with the 100 moving average on CGC? All right. Look, MACD is looking good. It's actually in the positive. That's a nice divergence we want. Volume's not that bad at all. Obviously, it didn't hold this number, but I'm still seeing a good little. That's a healthy steep, right? Like that's not like a crazy like. Right? Sorry, I couldn't make the dash lines, but there's a decent ramp right there. I don't mind it. You know what I mean? So far, so good. The one thing I'm not sure is if we're going to kind of start slowing down. That again, I'm not sure we're going to break the 100 just yet. Hey, I would love it, right? Don't get me wrong. And I think if I was going to set an alert, it would probably be around 78, 79. I would actually want to be a good ways away from that 100 because I'm just worried. Look, for me, I can't trade this. It's a little too high on the RSI. I obviously was on vacation when this 50 broke. Like, I missed this, right? I don't want to chase the dragon. If it cools off, I'll jump in. If it actually breaks the 100, it makes me believe it wants to actually go from like red, 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 red to green, 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 green. Yeah, I'll catch 75 and take it to $1, right? That's a beautiful 33%. But for me, I gotta wait to see what happens to the 100 because I was on vacation, baby. I missed it. It happens, right? So, what's the weekly look like? Oh man, wow, that's a beautiful weekly. Actually, I wish the MACD was a little closer to 0. It's obviously not that far away, but that's a fantastic 44. Dude, the 50's all the way here at $1.80 something. Again, this is the weekly, right? So this might take a couple candles, which might mean like 2 to 3 weeks. But dude, this thing is kind of saying it wants to come to almost $2 on a sub 75-cent stock. CGC, interesting. Real interesting. I like it. And again, one more time, with TLRY looking like it's ready to finally break all 5 and fly, that should be good for the sector and actually might help CGC keep going. I like that. I do, actually. Let's take a look at SOUNDHOUND real quick. And man, this is frustrating to say the least, but it really emphasizes what I've said really for the last few weeks. All right, I've said for the last couple videos, I really don't think it's worth. At the time, I was saying $3, right? Because basically that's where these two are. But I just, to me, it's not worth touching Soundhound until it can get over all 5 of these moving averages. We've been in this weird little horizontal cluster. This cluster of 3 was a lot stronger than I expected it to be, in all honesty. But yeah, there's more reason to be optimistic once it can get over all 5. I find it really, really, just like I said, it's odd because look, let me flash NASDAQ, right? Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Comp Q, NASDAQ composite. NASDAQ made a decent little up, right? Like there were fears of this thing going down. No. It did a beautiful movement from the 21st till basically not that long ago, right? Soundhound in that same 21 to here, it was horizontal. Like that's what I'm seeing, right? Like I guess there's like a baby uptrend maybe, but like I'm seeing that. I'm just seeing a movement on these, and it's a little sad, I think, in my head. I don't know why. I guess look, volume never even got over the 50 moving average. I mean, MACD was able to kind of make its way up, but even that didn't do too much. This was disappointing. I think I have no other word than just simply disappointing. You know what I mean? Again, I actually would not touch this until you can see 290 is that 50 average line, right? So I think a couple cents over that 290 lets you believe that it's gone. And hey, hopefully that'll be a better ride up to high 3s, right? But I don't know. And also, I'll be honest, like, I don't think it's, I was saying this on the Discord. Actually, I remember someone asking it, if I'm not mistaken. Damn, you would think I would like preset these. Nope, I'm gonna mess up. But look, screenshots and stuff, you guys got to go to that Discord. Either way, to me, I'm just gonna keep repeating myself. There's no reason to do it, right? So where are we on the weekly? Look, this isn't a great weekly. And again, we're still talking about the same range. This one's 286 right here, right? What was the number on the weekly? 290, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so look, 290 I think is still the magic number. 290 puts you in a good place on the weekly chart. 290 puts you a good place on the daily chart. This is it's I guess this weekly looks a little better. We've gone from 2 to 240. That is a 20% movement, I guess. That said, man, it's been disappointing that this has been happening, and I think it really does echo why I was saying just let break all 5 and fly. Otherwise, it's just kind of hard to do. You know what I mean? And look, this thing knows how to do it. We've seen it break all and fly, right? We've seen it try once, use the lines to support well, but yeah, once it loses it, man, that was rough here. So, like I said, this one was just a little bit perplexing on my head. You can kind of tell, like as I was saying this, I was almost like, I don't want to say arguing with myself, right? But oh man, this one, I just feel like it should have done more, but it goes to show why I stress that these moving averages are pretty hardcore, all right? Look, GNS, okay? Today was an important day. Today was a beautiful 13%. Today held 2 moving averages. It's a little bit, not 100%, but it's a little bit reminding, you know, I don't know if it's trying to do that, right? That was at least kind of the hope I can tell. Look, the one thing I can at least say is it did the minimum. Because the day after the doji is generally very telling. This could have been the doji that brought it all the way down here for sure. Instead, it decided to go all the way, you know, up and it hit third. Like those are all good things. We get back over that one. We are still under, right? We're under that orange line, and it's kind of hard to see, but you can see the green line's pretty much exactly on it. But we're still under the 8 and the 20, all right? And really, under the 8 and 20 almost doesn't matter at this point because you still have the 200, the biggest one of them all, just above it, right? To me, I don't think I would touch GNS under 163. I don't think that the juice is worth the squeeze there. That said, today was an important day because it was a good volume day. It looks like it might be turning around the RSI. It looks like it might be saving the MACD from falling into the negative. Today was really, really important, and I'm not trying to undermine that or take it away, but I still think this needs to do. Where are you after hours? It's okay. You're holding. I don't mind it going down a little bit. That really was only a little bit. 3 cents ain't nothing to, you know, poo-poo. I'm not trying to like undermine it, but yeah, we're holding enough. But Yeah, to me, if you can just get over this, oh, there's a lot of reason to believe. Because look, again, we make an attempt come down. We actually make a good attempt come down. Hopefully, third time's a charm, right? And you know the rules: break all five and fly, lose all five and die. We have lost all five and died for a while. This looks like it might be ready to turn around. And look, overall, volume's not horrible. I think since this like end of August, early September, more people have been buying and holding. Obviously, this 50 average line is going up. Like, there are good things happening on this chart. That said, I still think the money line right here is 163, all right? What's the weekly? This isn't a bad weekly. This isn't a bad weekly at all. 163 actually is really good on the daily and on the weekly as well. So, those are healthy numbers too. I wish that was obviously on over the positive, but that's not bad. I like this. GNS, look, I'm telling you, there's not a lot of bad things I'm saying here. All I'm really saying is I think I just needed to do more. And there's nothing wrong with raising your criteria, right? Because again, that should be a better thing for your money, right? So, hey, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Otherwise, as always, thank you.